Now what was that all about? Lucifer eventually had it up to here. And he said, what is this? I'm the skivvy around here. I do the work. I run the choir. I organize everything. And everybody bows down to him. What's the difference between him and me? In the image, I look like him. I'm just like him. I can do what he can do, but he is taken into the council of the Godhood and I am not. And what is more, everybody obeys, bow down, bow down, bow down. I've had it. I've had it up to here. I want to be like him. I see no difference. Isn't that what was happening?
Satan and his followers, the dark angels, waged a bitter war against God and his archangel Michael. Satan and the dark angels were cast into a fiery hell, where they were to rot for all eternity. Satan vowed revenge and set out to destroy mankind. Strangely, Satan did not lose his angelic powers, which included the ability to change his appearance.
Satan can break the laws of nature and common sense. He can come upon us in the guise of a seductive, beautiful woman. He can come in a body that has human parts and animal parts commingled. He's powerful. He's impervious to our abilities to seek him out in the normal world. He can be invisible. He can come as a spirit, as a word in the wind.
Satan went in search of his enemy, and soon appeared on earth, slithering in the form of a snake. He entered a garden called Eden, where he sought out a woman named Eve.
They represent all of humanity, and when they choose their own will over the will of God, they choose to do their own thing rather than God's thing, then the whole human race tends toward that evil.
God had warned Eve not to eat from the garden's tree of knowledge, but Satan lured her to sample the forbidden fruit, saying that eating it would give her total knowledge, and she would become like God. He then convinced Eve to share the fruit with Adam. As punishment, Adam and Eve were forever banished from paradise. The devil had struck his first blow against man. It was sweet revenge. As man's presence on earth blossomed, so did Satan's quest to corrupt him and turn him against God. Satan began fighting countless battles with God in an effort to capture human souls. And though God fought back, he left much of the struggle to man.
Freedom of choice is the greatest gift that God has ever given his creation. We are not puppets. We are something special. But when God created it, he knew that things could go wrong. But he was prepared to carry the consequences himself. And so he said, be fruitful and multiply, which he had said to none of the angels. Replenish the earth. Replace that which has fallen. Subdue it, have dominion, rule like I rule. And Lucifer looked at this creation and he knew what was happening. He knew God was doing something new. God was creating a being more in the image, in terms not of brain capacity or anything like that, but in terms of, wow, sharing the creative capacity of God, that he was awestruck. And he knew that this order of being was being created to expose his hypocrisy. What is man? What is so important about man that the God of the universe is so mindful of him? Let's prove that. For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels. The word there in the original is Elohim, which is God. Thou hast made him a little lower than God. Some translations actually have it that way. And has crowned him with glory and honor. Does that sound like a worm? Something that's crowned with glory and honor, is it a worm? No. And has made him to have dominion over the works of the hand, and has put all things under his feet. Does that sound like a worm? Here was a new order of being, something the universe had never experienced before. You are not worms. Lift up your heads. You are sons and daughters of God. Let us change the mindset of the youth. I did not come here. I didn't ask to be here. Let us tell them who they are. Sons and daughters of God. Created in the image of God. Created to even take the place of angels. And let us stand for what is right. Let us not listen to the voice which says, I will pervert the Sabbath. I will pervert the creative act of man, the bringing forth of children. I will pervert the marriage relationship. I will destroy it. Those are the two pet hates that he has, because both of them reveal his character in relation to the character of God. Let us go back to the Bible. Let's ask the Lord prayerfully to show us what the real intention for the creation of man was, so that we can lift our heads and say, this is our God. We have waited for him. Amen.